Hi friends, Hattie here with Happy Hour with Honeybee Stampers. I hope that you guys can join me live, and if you do, definitely let me know where you're watching from, and just say hello so I can kind of follow along. I hope that you guys are having a great day. I am excited to be here at the studio again to do this happy hour with you. I have a really fun technique to share with you guys today, but I will give you a little heads up. I've got my little 3-year-old here in the studio with me, and my friend Becky is trying to keep him occupied. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this video today without any disturbances, but just kind of know that that is going on behind the scenes. So today I'm going to start off by sharing my host code. So we're almost done with this host code, but this is the host code. If you decide to place an order that's under $150, then you're going to use this host code. And if you go over 150, don't use the host code, because then you get some freebies. You get some products, some host credit of your own. And so you don't want to use the host code, because then it wouldn't allow you to add those. All right, let me make sure I'm in the screen. I think it looks pretty good. All right, so last week I had a little call to action where I asked that if you shared this video, then you would get entered into a drawing, and I didn't have the embellishments with me. These are the embellishments right here. So I didn't see that anybody shared it. Now, when I looked online, it said I had 6 shares, but when I clicked on it to see who shared it, it didn't tell me. So if you did share the video, just do a little screenshot of that share and send it to me, and I will put you into a drawing. But since I didn't see anybody yet, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to raffle this off for this share. So if you share this video, all you have to do is there's a little button across the bottom that says share. I think it's like, comment, share. Then you'll get entered to win these embellishments. These are the new 2023 through 2025 in color dots, and they're shiny and they're rather flat. They're really nice to put on your projects. And so there's that. You'll be entered to win that, and I will do that drawing at the next happy hour. So let me set that to the side for now. And today we've got a really cute project. Let me show you what the project is that we're going to make. I'm going to create this card for you today, and I'm going to show you how the floating strips technique works. And I'm going to use the DSP that we have that's on sale. We actually have a lot of DSP on sale, but the one that I'm going to use is called the Delightfully Eclectic. So this is 12 by 12 paper, and it's a pretty big pack of paper. I'm going to show you what all is included with this paper, because to me, this is one of those packs of paper that's kind of like a hodgepodge, right? It's got a lot of different patterns. Some of them kind of coordinate with other suites of product. And so I think that was kind of the way they designed it. But let me just show you the patterns so you can get a better look. So that's one page, back and front and back. Then we've got some stripes. I love this one. And you guys have seen me use this already. And then we've got this pattern here. We're going to be using this one today. These two. And I've created several cards featuring this technique and just doing different ways of doing the floating strips technique and using the paper that you see here. So you'll get inspired by that, and hopefully you'll want to get this pack, because this is a larger pack of paper. You get, I believe, 48 sheets included, and it's on sale right now. And today is free shipping if your orders are over $75. So you definitely want to make sure that you take advantage of the free shipping, because shipping is not fun to pay right now. So this one's cute. You got a couple pink hearts in there, just randomly placed. And this is a fun one, especially for scrapbooking. So this one right here, this graphic is actually the same punch. It's like the punch or whatever that we're using for Stamp Camp. It's just a smaller version of it, but that's what it looks like. And then this one. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. This is going to have to be kind of a cutesy card that I come up with those pretzels. So let me take a look and see here some more details about that. So if you're looking at the Designer Series paper sale, It is the Delightfully Eclectic 12 by 12 DSP. It doesn't tell you much more there. Let me see if it tells you on the back. Pretty sure there's 48 sheets, but I don't want to say that. Yes, you're going to get 48 12 by 12 sheets of paper. So it's a really big paper pack. Okay, let's jump into this card so I can show you how to create it. And I have extra cards to show you at the end. So stick around for that. And then I'll be talking a little bit about honeybee happenings and things that are going on. All right, so let's set that to the side. We'll bring that back in later. So for this card right here, you are going to need the Designer Series paper. So I picked this pattern out of that package. And then I've already cut and prepped all of the pieces. You are going to also need some of the acetate. So let me see what exactly we call it. It's called window sheets. So it's our window sheets. They're only $5. You get, I think, 2 12 by 12 sheets. So you're going to need this for this floating card technique. And you're going to need a paper trimmer of some kind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper first. And there's so many different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you a couple today. And I'm just going to slice this paper up. And I'm going to do it, let's do it at 1/2 inch strips for this one. Okay, so I'm actually going to do a technique that keeps the pattern together. Okay, you can do them where they're just random patterns if you wanted to. But for this card, I'm going to keep the patterns together. So I'm just cutting these 1/2 inch strips here. And once you get started doing this, you're going to have so much fun creating cards with this that you're just going to want to use up all your paper doing it. I recommend doing a large sheet of the acetate paper or the window sheets, putting all these strips on there so you can do several different cards. I'm just doing this little tiny sample here for you. Okay. Okay, we'll set that to the side. And you see how I've kind of kept this together so that if you were to line it all up, it still has kept the image of the DSP. So I want to very carefully lift that off and put that onto the side of my paper. There we go. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some of this acetate here and we're going to start placing the strips of paper on it. And you can do liquid adhesive, which I'm going to do today. The only catch with the liquid adhesive is that, let me get my little foam thing out here so I can see what I'm doing. The only catch with the liquid adhesive is that if it smears a little bit, it ruins the acetate. And you want the acetate to be as clean looking as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of glue, if it'll come out for me. Sometimes this green glue can be a little finicky. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little tiny bit of green glue right down the center so that if I shift it around a little bit, I'm less likely for it to spill out the sides. I need to go back to my image and see where I pick this up from. This way. Okay. So now I'm going to start with the very top of my acetate or my window sheet and just lay that flat just like that. You can use your grid paper. You can line up your grid paper like this and use the grid paper to place your strips perfectly, but I've found that it's actually rather easy to just eyeball it. Okay, this is the next one, so let me add some glue right down the center. And what I'm going to do is give it just like 1/8 of an inch of separation. You can make it more, you can make it less. It's completely up to you. There we go. Okay, let's get our next one on. So you guys pretty much get this concept, right? Let's do one more. I did do the tape runner, and the tape runner works too, but my tape runner was a little bit wider than these strips, so it made it a little bit difficult to keep the adhesive underneath the strips, and it was kind of getting messy. So I find that this green glue is working perfectly for that. And like I said, you can shift it around and make it fit. So you guys can see that you've got some, like that 1/8 of an inch right between the strips there. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Now, after you've done that, what you're gonna want is either to take your paper trimmer, or you can take a set of dies. So I've decided to use these dies. So for example, let me set these to the side. For this card right here, I die cut, after I put them all down on the acetate, I die cut with the square die from, this is the Stylish Shapes dies. I die cut that one to create this. But for this one, we'll use the largest circle. And I've already done that because I had done that earlier when I was creating. And so this is kind of what the finished product looks like. I will tell you that when you use the dies for this, you want to make sure that you maybe use a shim. So you put another piece of cardstock or something. I like to use the paper that comes with our DSP in the very back. I like to use those as shims. I put that on the very top of my die cutting sandwich so that it presses the die in a little bit deeper, because you want it to get through all the layers and cut through the plastic. It will sometimes make it a little bit difficult, and when you go to pull it off, you know, it's sticking in certain spots, and then that's when you just grab your paper snips and snip those little pieces loose, that little area. So I'm gonna set that to the side, but that's basically the concept, right? And then let's put this card together, and I'll show you a couple other ways. So I have already embossed. For this one, I used one of our new basic embossing folders. That's an online exclusive. Make sure you check those out. They're amazing. But for this card, I decided to switch it up and use a different embossing folder to get a different look and see how it goes. So I decided to use this embossing folder. This is the basic, or this is like the basic shapes or the basic embossing folders. And then this one, I'm forgetting already what this one is called. Let me go to the back, the very back of your catalog. You can see all the embossing folders. So this one's called Metal Plate, and it looks really good. And it looks like a metal plate when you use, when you emboss like foil paper with it. So I've used this. Now I've decided, instead of using this side, which is the typical side that I would use, I'm gonna flip it over and use this side just to make it a little bit more of a muted background. I'm gonna go ahead and use my green glue again. This is a 3D embossing folder, so those little rivets or whatever those are called are really sticking up. So the green glue is gonna help them adhere to the card front. I'm just doing basic white on basic white. Love that look. And then I've cut a piece of basic black cardstock, and don't worry, all the measurements will be included in the email that I send out tomorrow. So make sure you're on my email newsletter list if you want that email. And it's going to have a picture of this card as well as all the measurements, so you can recreate it if you'd like. Okay. And I'll include the product that I used as well. So we're just going to put that right in the center, already looking good. And then we're going to take this, something that I found really helpful when I'm doing these floating DSP strips is to use these foam adhesive strips. They're amazing. Makes it easy. I'm just going to put a little bit right in the center of each DSP, and all I have to do is pull to tear it. You can use a pair of scissors if you want, but I didn't want to gummy up my scissors by doing that. So I'm just kind of pulling it like that. You don't have to have one on every single strip, but I kind of like it. Makes it nice and secure. Okay, and maybe I'll do one more right there. So these are the foam adhesive strips that you would need if you're doing shaker cards. So shaker cards are fun. And speaking of shaker cards, we've got a birthday box bingo here at the studio that's in person. And it's the last weekend in July. And we're going to be making shaker cards. So make sure that you check that out and don't miss it. I'm going to place this one right about there in the center. And what I did for this one is I fussy cut out some of these little flowers just to add another extra element. And I've already done that for us, so we're going to put that right here. Okay. And then we use this die cut, same die cut as this. This is the Stylish Shapes. So this is a really fantastic die set to use because you can, I mean, it's so versatile. I use it all the time on so many different things. I'm going to add a little embossing buddy. I always forget to check my comments to see if anybody is watching and if anybody's commenting so I can answer any questions. Okay. So if you have any questions about this, definitely let me know. I'm happy to help. All right, now for the sentiment, I use the Circle Sayings stamp set for the sentiment here. And I did Smile, and Because You're Awesome, that's actually a good one too. Let me see if that fits. I was actually going to go with a completely different one. I guess that does kind of fit. Let's do that. Let's see how it looks once we put it down. I hope that flower isn't distracting. That's this paper. This is our new grid paper that features in colors. I use this paper doing the video tutorial for my Sweet and Simple card class, and so it wasn't that dirty, so I thought I'd use it again. Okay, so we're gonna stamp this. That does fit. I love photopolymer. I wish I would have stamped it a little bit lower, but that will work. And then we're gonna add some embossing powder. Okay, and then I turn it over and flick off the excess. Looks good. Let's heat emboss this really quickly. Okay, I just stepped off camera to heat emboss that in white. And now we're going to assemble these here. So, oh, you guys know what? I put this on crooked. I'm going to have to get over that. I wanted to go straight across, and I think I was focusing on the flower versus the actual strips. But that's okay. So it's going to be off a little bit, but we'll add this piece here. I'm going to add some dimensionals. Let me see if I can find them. Actually, we'll just use one of these foam strips. I don't know if you guys can hear Thomas the Train in the background or not. My son is obsessed with Thomas the Train. He loves it, loves it, loves it. So I'm going to stick this right here. Okay. And then this one I'm also going to put up with a dimensional. I'm trying to decide if it's going to bother me to leave it that way or not. It probably will, but I'll get over it. Okay. Right, we're going to put some adhesive right there. And then we'll pop this up with some little dimensionals. I'm going to put this so that the flower kind of comes right there. Stick that on. So this is hardly any stamping. I absolutely love using the Designer Series paper to create all of these really cute projects. And with them being on sale, why not? I actually purchased some more DSP today. Okay, so there is the final card, and it is a little askew, but that's all right. And then we are going to embellish it. We've got these little rhinestones. So they're the iridescent rhinestone jewels. Look like this. Iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Love them. And then we're going to grab a couple of these. We'll stick one big one in the middle. And then let's do, there's a medium size one. We'll do that down here. And then one little one. So there's 3 different sizes of this rhinestone jewel. If I had my take your pick tool, that'd make it easier. Okay, just like that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and put a little ribbon on it, twine. I love our black twine. I literally could use this on so many projects. I feel like it just finishes it. So you see this here, this card is like cute, but then having that little bit of twine on it just makes it look finished. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's see here. There we go, and then trim the ends. There. Okay, and I love to put twine on or any ribbon or any kind of embellishment like that or bow with our glue dots. So last week I gave you guys a little sample starter kit idea where if you put all those items in your starter kit, you'll really maximize your starter kit option. And so I'm going to do that again for these projects. I'm going to give you all the things that you can add to your starter kit to be able to maximize the starter kit and take advantage of that. Now, yesterday I also gave a little tip that if you purchased the starter kit yesterday, or even if you purchased it right now, you could get your demo ID number emailed to you, and then you would be able to purchase anything else you wanted for with free shipping plus your demo discount. So today is really a great day to double dip on some Stampin' Up products. So there's our 2 projects there. And then I've got a few other ones I wanted to share with you guys featuring this technique. Let's see. So here's another card that I designed. This is featuring the same designer series paper pack that I just showed you. So these are a couple different pages of it, and then I just sliced it down. For this one, I placed it all over the acetate, and then what I did was I cut the acetate down. Now you could do it that way, or you could cut the acetate to the size that you wanted it to be, and then lay the strips down over it, and then flip the acetate over and just trim off the excess pieces. So with this one, I just kind of kept with the same color like scheme or like following each pattern, but I didn't really worry about if the patterns were lined up or not. So there's that project. And then I also used the circle sayings again for this, the hello warm, or warm hello on here. And let me just tune in, okay. And then I also used some twine again, the iridescent rhinestones, and then also this is that die that we were talking about. So you're going to see me using a lot of these items over and over again, which means that I'm going to add those to that list of starter kit ideas, samples. Okay, so this card I think is super fun. So this card right here, what I did with this one is I combined the designer series paper that's also in that paper pack with strips of very vanilla cardstock that I had. So I know you probably have a ton of this size very vanilla cardstock laying around just from cutting like the inside layer, matte layer for your cards. So I grabbed a bunch of those, and what I did was because this is typically about a ½ inch, I decided to make this size larger. So I went with 1 inch for this size, and then a ½ inch, ½ inch, and I laid them all out. And then I went ahead and I cut it this way. So it gives that kind of a very different look to it. And then this sentiment here is actually from Happy Labels. So I was trying to use this circle sayings again, but I really wanted this long, just very simple look to the card. So that's why I went with this one. So this was a really fun, and hopefully you can see how I did that. Put them on here and then I cut them down this way. So that's a really fun card. And then for my last one I'm going to show you for today, I didn't finish it yet because I need to get your input. So let me set these to the side for just a second. Okay, so I decided to create diagonals. So with this one, I did cut the acetate down to the size that I was looking for. And then I placed, I believe these are 1/4 of an inch strips. This DSP is from that paper pack. And then I took 2 of the colors that were in the DSP. I pulled them out. And so it was Calypso Coral, and then there's also Fresh Freesia in there. And it's such a unique color combo. But I added those strips on there as well. And I just started with the middle strip, placing that down, and then I went up from there and then down from there, following that same pattern. Now I want to place this on a Night of Navy cardstock base because I think it looks really good. So here are some of the options. I'm a very simple stamper, but I do love layers. So when I look at this, I feel like it needs a layer. For this card, I'm going to heat emboss one of these sentiments on the bottom. So you guys are going to have to help me decide. I won't put this card together yet until I see some of the comments, but the Happy Label stamp set. So let's see here. Life is better with you would be a good sentiment. You're going to be amazing parents. That's a really cool card to send to somebody. That might go down there. You've got the biggest heart. I've used that one before. I'm so happy you were born. I like that. There's no one else, or there's no one like you. You can put that in. Just a note would work also. Now, if I were to do just a note, because it's so tiny, I would probably just do a little piece of cardstock and have it just come right there. I think that would be cute. I just want to hug you. Love you and miss you. So I did that on the other card. You are my happy place. And I think I would just leave it at those because I do want the sentiment to go right there. So let me know in the comment section below which one of these sentiments, which one of these cards or sentiments would you want to have on your card. And I'll pick the one that has the most votes. So there's that. And then the next thing is to just help me decide on the layer. I do want to put a layer on the back of this, even though I really do like the way it looks here. So that's Night of Navy, and I can put a Night of Navy mat on the back of that if I wanted to, really. Here's what it would look like if I were to add a white mat. Okay, so I like it, and maybe if this was in the sentiment is embossed in white, that might look good as well. It would tie that all in together. Let's see how it looks with the Calypso Coral mat. So the cool thing about the Calypso Coral mat is that the Calypso Coral strips just kind of disappear right in there, right? There we go. So I'll let you take a look at that for a second. And then let's take a look at the Fresh Freesia. Same with the Fresh Freesia. It disappears into the background. So there's that one. I'll take pictures of these and share them so that people can kind of decide. And then I'll finish this card off and you guys will see it next week at Happy Hour with Honeybee Stampers next Wednesday at 3 p.m. So we'll finish that off later. Okay, I wanted to share a couple more cards with you and then talk about Honeybee happenings. So last Saturday, I did Sweet and Simple card class. So these are the cards that I made. This one was a fun fold card, very simple, featuring some designer series paper that's on sale. Okay. This designer series paper right here is from the paper pack that we've been working with today. And then this sentiment stamp is from the stamp set that we used today that I showed you earlier. So there's that cute little card. And we also did this fun fold. This was inspired by a card that I got as a gift. And she was inspired by our friend Rhonda Wade. So there's that. And then we've got this card here. I love this one. So this little Fox was fussy cut out of designer series paper. All of this designer series paper that I featured on these projects is available on sale until the end of June. So I wanted to show off that. And then you see this little background here. Maybe you can see it. So this is the same embossing folder that I used on this card, but I just flipped it over to use the other side of the embossing folder. I really like the way that turned out. Sometimes it doesn't always work. It doesn't look good on the other side, but if it does, you can flip it over and try it out. And then this card right here, Nice, sweet and simple card. And this final card right here, which was a fan favorite, is featuring some new product that I'm actually going to be featuring with my friend Brenda Nelson at our stamp camp that we're doing for summer stamp camp. And it's next month, but you don't have to be there. Don't worry about the date. If you want this package of goodies mailed to you with all of the instructions and the video to put the projects together. And something special about our event is that we don't just ship the product to you and give you a tutorial to read from. We actually do a video where we create the projects step by step. We give you all kinds of tips and tricks, and we invite a guest stamper to come. And so our guest stamper for for Stamp Camp, Summer Stamp Camp, is Michaela from the UK. And if you get my email newsletter, I've linked her blog so you guys can go and check out how amazing her work is. So you're going to want to tune in for that, or at least sign up for the Stamp Camp and then be able to watch the video later if you can't attend on July 22nd. The other thing I want to mention about Stamp Camp is this Friday I'm having what I call a Stamp Camp Encore, where you just meet with me on Zoom. I'm going to share, I have links already going out in emails. I did the email yesterday, but I will share on my Facebook page also the link to join this Zoom call. And it's just a virtual craft time. So bring past card kits that you have yet to do, bring old Stamp Camp projects that you haven't finished, and we'll all get together and create our projects. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about Stamp Camp to let you know all the ins and outs and answer any questions. And then I'm also going to do a drawing for a free add-on class. So at Stamp Camp, we add on 2 different classes. I design one, Brenda designs one. And so if you're chosen on Friday for attending, then you'll get to grab that class for free, okay? And you'll get that class for free whether you do the Stamp Camp or not. Okay, so there's that. And was there anything else I wanted to share with you? Oh, I did find, let me set these to the side. Our next Sweet and Simple card class is the 15th of July, I believe. So don't miss that. Sign up early for it, for sure. And I wanted to show you a couple more cards. So this was a card swap that I got, and I can't remember who made it, but she used that same DSP strips technique to create this adorable little ornament. Such an easy, adorable Christmas card to make. Okay. And then this is the first card that I designed when I was first kind of playing around with this, and it kind of didn't make the cut. Let's see here. I decided to go with this paper as the background instead of white, and I wanted it to be a little bit smaller to kind of frame those floating DSP strips a little bit better. So I might have to do a this or that with these to see which one people liked better. Here's that. Okay, and then, well, this was some leftover from this other card that I did, so I'm going to have to put something together for this. But I'll be sharing over the week these projects that I've made. I'm going to bring them all in again and to inspire you. And I'll also share that sample starter kit that I come up with to help you maximize. There we go. You guys will have to tell me if you like the circle versus the square. I really love that. And not only did I do the square, I actually made the lines vertical versus horizontal too, just to kind of give it a little added dimension. All right, I think that is it. Let me bring in my host code. You guys take advantage of that free shipping today. This is the host code for me. It's 2NPJ6JTV. And be sure to share this video. All you do is click the share button and it'll go over to your Facebook page to share with your friends. And so if you do share, you'll get entered into a drawing to win this little pack of embellishments. All right, guys, I hope that was a great happy hour. And I thank my friend Becky so much for keeping Sterling occupied. They've been very good. I hear them whispering over there. And I will see you guys all next week on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.